But things have been happening. And it's only because of the leadership that the mayor has shown us. He has been appearing on radio shows, TV shows, Globe and Mail, and other assorted various media, because he has been working very, very closely with this project, and I think it's working well. There's a lot of cooperation from a lot of people, and that's what you need to run a city. But ladies and gentlemen, let's not waste any time. Here's the podium. Here's a mic. You've been fed. Here's Ted. Mayor Ted Cluxton.
I'd like to thank you for that introduction, Dr. Toward. Oh, sorry. I just had to take the marbles out of my mouth. Anybody get that one? I'm going to be making fun of the ticked off tickle pink all day today. We got any Sunrise Rotary people here? Yeah. You can learn something from the Kiwanis, because this is the proper time to start a meeting. With that, I'd like to thank the Kiwanis Club and the Chamber once again for hosting this. I hope you enjoyed the video earlier that was playing. We debuted that last year, and I just wanted, and then we also got the winter one up as well. Don't worry, I won't be playing it loud this year. So I guess we'll get started. I'm going to start with the first slide here. So 2014 was a year of success, in my opinion. I hope you feel the same way. We had a lot of new activity, some new growth. You're seeing growth, you're seeing construction around town, you're seeing a lot of increase in development permits. And I'm hoping you're feeling new energy. This council has made it kind of a priority that we want to be positive. We want people to feel good about their city. And hopefully, you're starting to feel some of that. So about a year ago, this council locked ourselves in a room and we did some strategic planning. Strategic planning is extremely hard work. You go around and around in circles, and sometimes you feel like you're not getting anywhere, but we came up with 6 priorities. And I'm not sure if many of you know what they are, but I'm going to go through them, all 6 of them today, and then I'm going to talk about not just these priorities aren't just sitting on the shelf. They're not just for show. We're actually putting dollars into every single one of the priorities. And like we like to say, we're putting some meat on the bone for our 6 priorities. The first priority is economic development. It was a big issue in the election. Medicine Hat, by Canadian standards, was growing well, but by Alberta standards was not. So it is actually this council's #1 strategic priority. So we sat down and we did almost a subset of this priority, and we talked about how we were going to increase economic development within the city. And one of the things that came up, and this came up in the election a lot, was the development of the river valley and tourism. And so right now we're doing a study on some of the opportunities that we can do for tourism around the river and hopefully some more business. Hopefully we can start celebrating our river versus fearing it. As well, we put a lot of money into the airport, $5 million expansion, which is going on right now. We should be open sometime in late spring with the expansion, maybe even early June, early summer. It's working again. And we have to attract air service. In order to have economic development, people have to be able to get here. And frankly, our air service is lacking a little bit. We've been in talks with WestJet as recently as about a month ago, 2 months ago. We've been talking to Air Canada. We'll be talking to the charter carriers, Sunwings. A Boeing 737 can take off at our airport at the present length, half full. So there's a lot of opportunities there. But the reason we had to do that $5 million expansion was because post-security, there is no room for anything larger than the plane we have right now. And so we have to have much more seating post-security. I think we just toured it about a month ago, Council. I think you'd be very impressed when you see it's very open and airy. And as well, we're putting $7.5 million into runway upgrades this year. As well, we need to recognize that City Hall needs to be open for business if business is going to come here. We cannot be a roadblock. We do surveys. We're getting very, very high percentage approval ratings lately. What we've noticed is we kind of have a new attitude, I hope. I hope some of you in the business community or in the development are sensing that in the old days, perhaps we said you came in with a proposal, and if it didn't meet our standards exactly, we said no. Nowadays, we try to say yes, if. Yes, if you can perhaps tweak this, do that, maybe downsize, upsize, whatever. So we're trying to have, and this is under our new commissioner, who isn't here today, but he's shown some great leadership in opening up City Hall for business. What's that? Oh, I was just doing it wrong. Okay. As well, we recognize that Medicine Hat is based on natural gas. Gas has been our history. Gas is, we started with cheap natural gas. That's what got our city started. And we'd like to attract some new industries. Of course, we'd like to have a tech sector. We'd like to have a biomed sector. But when it really comes down to it, the best way to grow businesses is grow the ones that you still have, that you have here, and retain the ones that you have. Of course, we have the most sunshine of any city, so we're going to try to focus our efforts on growing existing industrial, basically anybody that turns gas into cash, burning cheap gas, either making methanol, fertilizer, or carbon black, as well as our greenhouse industry. So we're going to try to focus on our strengths and not get too spread out and try to tackle too many different areas at once. And as well, we need to tell the story of Medicine Hat. Everybody in this room is here because they love Medicine Hat. They know Medicine Hat's a great place. Problem is once we get people here, they don't leave. Problem is getting them here. And I think we maybe haven't done as good a job of telling what a great city we have. Low taxes, low utilities, the great weather, the great sunshine. So I'm going to show you something a little later on here. We've got a bit of an unveiling to do about how we're going to try to tell the story of Medicine Hat a little bit better and get the word out and hopefully attract new citizens and new jobs and growth. Downtown revitalization. 2 years ago, we did the 600 block of 2nd Street. Everybody said, please don't touch my block. You're destroying our businesses. Please don't do my block. Leave us alone. You're destroying our business. Everybody's now seen the 600 block of 2nd Street and what a massive success that was. And it was water and sewer pipes is what we did, and some upgrades to some streetscape enhancements. That was the worst block in Medicine Hat. That block was vacant. I was worried we were actually going to lose control of that block when I first got on council, and it would just become vandalism. Now it is one of our best blocks. It probably has some of the highest occupancy right now, or new construction going on. But you can't renovate a building such as the beverage building if the water pipe is so corroded you can't even get water to the 3rd floor. So we had to do those upgrades. And next year we'll be doing the 400 and 500 block of 2nd Street. And then 2 years later we'll start on 3rd Street. As well, the Esplanade. I used to make fun of the Esplanade, I have to admit that, but now I'm there probably at least once a month at some sort of show, some sort of event. The Esplanade has helped downtown. You see people, it's created activity. The businesses downtown know when there's a show going on because they need to know because there's going to be traffic and there's going to be people down there. And the Esplanade is 10 years old this year. It's amazing that it's already 10 years old, and hopefully you can catch a show there this year if you haven't caught one in the past. I just mentioned that we're going to be doing the next 2 blocks of downtown. You can see some of the new buildings or the upgrades that are going on right now. And if you haven't been down there, the Station Cafe or any of that, go take a look. It's fantastic. We brought forward what we call an expansion rate. So the City of Medicine Hat is basically, we come forward with a new electricity rate for industrial customers. If they increase their load, meaning they use more electricity, we've got a program where we'll basically give them electricity pretty much at cost or near cost. And so we're hoping to use that to entice some new industrial expansion. And it's a very, very competitive, favorable rate. Obviously, we're competing with some of the states where they offer tax incentives, cheap utilities, and so we have to compete on a North American and global market. So we have this business expansion rate, which I hope industry soon takes advantage of. As well, we're talking about electric generation. We're looking at adding another LM6000 turbine in the north, not at our power plant, because we're trying to diversify our utilities. We're oil, gas, and electricity, and normally, if one's down, such as gas, oil, and electricity are up. Unfortunately, we all know that oil is down as well. But we still have we're in a unique advantage here in Medicine Hat that we burn gas to make electricity. So we have some fortunate when we have that natural hedge that if gas is cheap, at least it makes electricity cheap to generate. The Regional Event Center is coming along. We will be doing the opening in August or September of 2016. We also just toured a little while ago. It's going to be run by a private company, and you know, it is on time, it is on budget, and it's coming along really well. It's going to be run by a private company. Anybody know? I showed it, not at the mayor's breakfast. Anybody know what this picture is? It wasn't at the mayor's breakfast? Oh, somebody got it at the mayor's breakfast. It's the Southview Mall, or Kmart, when it was first under construction. And as you can see, there's nothing. Here, this is all Ross Glen and the South and Park Meadows, and 13th Avenue is almost a dirt road. The reason I'm showing this is because people said, why are you building an event center in the middle of nowhere? Nobody will ever build anything out there beside it or around it. But if you actually have some vision, you can see that over time, things come along. So this is why I'm showing this. Of course, there's been lots of construction activity going on in the Box Springs right now. The new Fox Safety, Boston Pizza. We'll be doing a ribbon cutting at Princess Auto here, I think, in a couple of weeks, and as well as the new 6-story hotel that's under construction. So the event center is doing what it was supposed to do. I know people say that it would have happened anyways, and it would have happened anyways, but there is some of these businesses are locating out there. Obviously, the hotel is locating out there because there's a new event center. So that's our first priority, and this budget has the next 2 years, 15 and 16 budget, has $37.4 million in our budget allocated just for this strategic priority. Infrastructure and amenities is our second priority. Flood protection. Councillor Dumanowski this is probably his number one thing. We're sticking to this. This is council's number one priority. It's almost personal, but I mean that in the best way. We're going to protect this city, and we're doing it with or without the province's help. We've got the money budgeted. We hope the province helps, but we are not going to stray from burning this city so that we never have to deal with people's basements being flooded and people's lives being destroyed. We also are doing asset management. We can't turn our backs. We have like every city has an infrastructure deficit, and so do we. Ours isn't nearly as bad as most cities. You don't have to worry when you're driving underneath Maple Avenue Bridge that a concrete piece is going to come through your windshield or anything like they are in some cities. However, we have to put money aside for asset. It's not sexy. It's water and sewer pipes. Most of it you don't see, and it's extremely expensive. But we've committed. It's basically this tax increase that I'm reading about that we just implemented. 1% of the tax increase is going towards a 30-year plan to cover basically $1 billion over the next 30 years. We could ignore it. We could turn our back on it. You can't see that the infrastructure is crumbling underground. But as a responsible civic government, we need to tackle this problem. We've got a plan over the next 30 years, and we're going to do it. Fire hall, we're moving the fire hall. I've talked about this a little bit. This should be happening this year or early next year. We worked really hard with the fire department. We were supposed to have a fourth fire station, actually. But the fire department went back to the drawing board, and they drew circles all around the city, and it's basically the 6-minute and 20-second circle. And we realized we could probably still do with 3 fire halls right now. Fire halls are actually fairly cheap to build, to tell you the truth. They're $5, $6, $7 million. I know that doesn't sound like cheap, but it costs between $2.5, $3 million a year to run a fire hall. So if we built a fourth fire hall, within 2 years of operating it, already cost you more than the capital. So there's a reason why we're just sticking with 3 fire halls, and so the one's moving south just off the Trans-Canada Way there across from the old totem, and so that we can cover some of the south. And then, of course, we'll eventually be moving the other fire hall number 1, just north of the river, just north of Maple Avenue Bridge. And the reason why we're doing that is because, of course, during the flood, half the city was cut off from the fire department potentially. So we're having one north, and then, of course, it'll reach all the new development in the north, the Box Springs area as well. Everybody see the wind turbines going up? 10 years this took. 10 years it took to get these turbines up. They went up in a day, each one of them. I don't know if you watched the construction, but Boom, one popped up, second one, three, they go up in like 3 days. But 10 days it took to get them up, and it was a lot of regulatory, and believe it or not, it was environmentalists holding us back. And I always say that, and everyone, why environmentalists? Doesn't make sense. But that's the great irony, that the environmentalists don't know what they want, frankly. They want you to build renewable energy, but they won't let you do it. So we're stuck. Our solar thermal project is up and running somewhat. I talk about this project a lot. I hope some of you have gone to see it. It's fantastic. It's unique. It's the first of its kind in Canada, one of only 3 in the world, hooked up to a gas-fired electric generation plant. I take all the ministers, if a minister is visiting Medicine Hat or the premier, I take them out there and show them this project. If any, we court all the new physicians we're trying to get to move to Medicine Hat. I take every single one of them out to see this project as well, just to kind of tip the scales. If they're thinking about maybe going to Red Deer, Lethbridge, or Medicine Hat, maybe they'll come to Medicine Hat because they remember that we're progressive or unique or something, or will be the top of their mind when they make their decisions. So this project's up and running. It was approved by council in '09, and it's just finally now. Solar power, we're a leader in that. Of course, our HatSmart program. We rebate if you want to put solar panels on your roof or businesses, and we just came out with our newest HatSmart. We put some money again in the budget. We believe in HatSmart. The rest of the country wishes they had a HatSmart. I don't know if any of you remember our Russ Smith, who used to be our head of HatSmart. He was stolen by Victoria to start Victoria Smart. That's what I call it. I don't know what they call it. But the problem is Lethbridge wants to do, they're interested. I had to go speak to Lethbridge. They want to start a Lethbridge Smart. But of course, the problem is none of these municipalities have a funding source. And that's where we're lucky in that we do have a funding source, and we're able to do some of these things. And we've got recognition from the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, so it's just a huge success. Smart meters, anybody? I don't see any tumors coming out of the side of your heads. No, I don't see any, yeah. So all that stuff about RF frequency, sorry I'm going to say it again, but it's still in the media. 10-minute cell phone call on your phone is the equivalent to having these in your house for 20 years. The RF is a total red herring. They don't cause cancer. They're not killing your children. I'm going to say it. I shouldn't say it. But the internet is a wonderful thing, but it's full of misinformation. And I think a lot of the opposition is from people with grow-ups. So I'm discrediting them. I know I shouldn't say anybody who actually does worry about this. You don't have a grow-up, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, we just filled our first natural gas bus today. Our new CNG station is up and running somewhat. You're going to start seeing these new buses. They're fantastic. We drove around on them. They're quiet. They're efficient. We're going to save the city about $500,000 a year in fuel costs, assuming the diesel stays where it is and gas stays where it is, natural gas. I'm going to make my same joke as I did last year. These buses are they're going to be quieter, but they're still going to be going by your house empty. Any one of those, if any other municipality even did any one of these things, they would be considered a leader. But we're doing all four, between the wind, the solar thermal, the HatSmart, the meters, and CNG. There's no other municipality in, I would say, North America that is tackling all of this at the exact same time. Thank you. So some second-year biology students went to visit a ranch down in Foremost, and because there were some leopard frogs they were studying. And what they did is they went and looked, and the rancher that told me the story said that the biology students were living and sleeping with the leopard frogs. And what they noticed is the leopard frogs are right around a stream. And the cattle would come down, the rancher's cattle would come down and drink from the water every day. I'm sorry for some of the people who already heard this story. And drink from the water every day. And so the biology students asked the rancher to please build a fence so that his cattle could no longer get access to the stream to protect the leopard frogs from the cattle stepping on them. And so the rancher obliged and built it. And then the biology students studied the frogs for the summer, and then they went away, and then the next year they were third-year biology students, and they came back to the same spot. There were no leopard frogs in the fenced-off area. And what they noticed was the cattle were drinking upstream about 500 meters, and the leopard frogs were up where the cattle were. And what they realized was leopard frogs. When the cattle walk into the soft mud and step into the mud, they create a little pool, little pond, and the leopard frogs were breeding in there. Sage grouse. So what I'm trying to get at is we need to do the biology. We had some weak politicians in Ottawa. We have, as I said, environmentalists, and as you can tell, I'm pro-environment. But you need to do the science first. To shut down our oil fields because of the sage grouse decline, they don't even know the biology. They don't know if it's our pump jacks that are causing the sage grouse decline. They don't know if it's the increase in predators. They don't know if it's climate change. But what you have is reactionary politicians who are trying to appease just a vocal minority, and they do something without the science, and they shut us down. So we're suing them for $42 million, unfortunately. Trees, this slide's in here. I just want to remind everybody that the berms come at a cost, 1,000 trees. It's very sad, but we have people who are eager. I can't believe the amount of emails I got from people who want to plant a tree, plant 2, 3 trees. You may have noticed on Allowance Avenue, there's even some signs with deceased veterans on it from the previous wars. They want to plant trees with the name of each veteran that has served and that was killed in duty. So we're going to replant some of the trees. We just want to make sure we do it in an organized fashion. They don't just pop up everywhere. And so we put $86 million into infrastructure in the next 2 years. It's a lot of money. Social wellness. That's our third priority. Expanding the leisure center. I'm surprised that the leisure center isn't getting as much attention. Right now, everybody's focused on the event center, but we're actually doing a $36 million expansion to our leisure center. We're adding running tracks, we're adding indoor soccer fields. The original building only cost $19 million to build about 12 years ago, and we're already doing a $36 million expansion. Normally, this would be huge news, but I think it's being overshadowed by all the other things that are going on. Methanex Bowl, they say it's anybody who's played football there or soccer, basically it's the best one in Alberta. You can have 5 inches of rain come down and play football 5 minutes later because it goes right through it. It's very well designed, and it was one of Graham Kelly's legacies. River Valley opportunities, I mentioned that we're going to be doing River Valley assessment. We want to celebrate the river. We want to start focusing on the river. We want to start getting recreational activity on the river, businesses on the river. Talking about doing some campground upgrades, either to the existing or a newer location. This campground is actually the only thing that the municipality does that we don't lose money at, besides the utilities. So we're looking at expanding it. Senior Center, this was the news story of the year. I'm sorry, it's not the news story of the year. It was the story that we didn't get this done. You look at all the other priorities, they had to get into the queue. This one's in the queue. This council is committed to a new senior center. Just what it looks like, I don't know yet, but we are working on it. The bottom is an architectural rendition of what the original proposal was. It came in at $20 million. Council, frankly, didn't have the money to do it, and so we're looking at some changes. But I'm proud of what this council has accomplished, even the previous one, all the decisions they made, and the ones this council's making. And I'm disappointed that frankly, and I'm sorry that the Medicine Hat News, some of them are here, that this was the news story of the year, because frankly, it was not. Southridge, why I'm committed to this, I'm pretty sure council still is. Talk about, the South has been asking for a pool for 20 years. We're hopefully going to work for them. We're going to hopefully put some money in the budget here this year, a budget amendment, so that they can have a pool and do their expansion. It's about a $26 million expansion, and I'm committed to it. I campaigned on it, and I hope to see it through. And I'm pretty sure council's still on board with it. But it takes time. Going back to the senior center. It takes time to do these things. The event center took 10 years. This is 20. These things, the wind turbines take 10 years. We are working as fast as we can on the senior center. Funding for not-for-profits. This council still is committed to not-for-profits. There's a bit of stuff in the media about it. We're celebrating music festivals, the celebration, Spectrum, 25th anniversary of Spectrum. We put some extra money in there. Cultural attractions, Medelta, we're spending some more money there. We're hopefully paving the parking lot there as well this year. These are council priorities, and we're sticking to them. Housing first. I don't even have a slide for this. This is just, this could have been, I'm not saying this should have been the story of the year, but this was a bigger story than the senior center. This has gone, I'm not even kidding, I've done 75 interviews outside of Medicine Hat. Economist, as you heard, Global Mail, and it wasn't me, but the rest of the world is watching our city. They want to come to our city. They're talking about Medicine Hat. I was speaking at a conference in Vancouver. Half the people didn't even know where we were. Now they all know. This ending homeless thing is far bigger. I brought it up. It was a year ago today that I said glib. I was almost being glib. I said, oh yeah, and by the way, we might be the first city in North America to end homelessness. And I didn't even think when I said it, the magnitude, until the word got out and people start talking, and CBC and radio and power and politics, and everybody wants to know how we did it. And I don't know how we did it, frankly. I keep telling this interview that we're a wealthy enough city and we have the resources to tackle a problem such as this, but we're a small enough city that we still know everybody and we care about people. So it is massive. And I hope some of you have recognized. Oh, okay. This is for the ladies. I got George, I got Dr. McDreamy, not Sweeney. Oh, and we got, I don't know who's that medicine woman? Scrubs. I don't watch TV because I don't have time. So we got MASH, we got House, we got, we have medicine woman, and we got Doogie, and of course we've got Dr. McCoy. Why? Physician recruitment has been, you talk to people, they talk about vital signs. The number one issue for Hatters was not pets, garbage pickup, water, sewer, roads, event centers. The number one issue was the lack of a family physician. So it's not our job, frankly, as a municipality to be in the physician recruitment business, but we decided we were going to do it anyways. Councillor Simmons is on Parn. We've had, we actively treat them, recruit them, beg, plead with them to come here. I meet with every one of them if I get the opportunity. I ask them, what are you interested in? Art, science, walking, swimming, golf, whatever. And whatever they're interested in, I take them, I show them. And I show them the solar power plant as well, whether they like that or not. And what's happened is, and I don't know if some of you have heard this number, the media's got a hold of it a little bit. We recruited 24 physicians this year. Unheard of. We're gonna put my brother out of business. So massive success. Usually we get 2 or 3, and then of course we'd have 2 or 3 retired. So we weren't having a net gain, but this year we will have a net gain. And that's another one. So social wellness, $31.8 million. Strategic priority number 4 is image and profile. So we've, some of you are aware, we canceled the EDA contract. That was a tough decision this council made. But however, we have a new DMO, a destination marketing organization. Jace, I don't know if Jace is here or any of the board members. We've given them a contract. Before, it was kind of reactive. They were on the highway doing the visitor information center, but now we're taking a more proactive approach. We're still running the visitor information center, but we're getting outside of the community. We're going out to trade shows. We're talking about Medicine Hat. We're trying to drag people here basically by the throat and hopefully come see Medicine Hat. So we're working on this. And one of the other things Medicine Hat faves. I introduced this at the mayor's breakfast. Sorry, I should move around a little bit more. We're trying to counteract some of the negativism on social media, the nastiness, the trolls, the anonyminites, by speaking positively about Medicine Hat. And I think we got 127 submissions so far. So people all around Medicine Hat are sending in submissions of their favorite spot or their favorite activity, what they do. I did a video. Most of the council has now done a video of their favorite spots. And we're just trying to keep that positivity moving and speak highly of your community. Whether you're mad at City Hall for your utility bill, fine. But when you leave the city, you speak highly of the city, and you speak highly, hopefully. So we're trying to do that. There's Jace. And those are some of the pictures that people have sent in, and of course, videos and stories. Okay, we're ready, you think? So what we're doing is today, this will be the first people. This is why you paid for your ticket. I always try to have something new for you. We got a little video here. We just filmed it. You'll notice that there was about 5 or 6 of us. We had to memorize lines. Of course, we all screwed up our lines, and so there's a bloopers outtake. So if you're wondering why we're laughing all the time, it's because we're screwing up. But you're going to hear a video of some prominent citizens mostly in tourism and marketing, that kind of industry, and we'll debut it. And then after that, you're going to see the new City of Medicine Hat logo. We will always be the Gas City, and the Gas City logo will be our corporate logo, but only within our borders. Nobody wants to go to the Gas City in Toronto. Oh yeah, I want to go to the Gas City. That sounds like a great place to hang out. So we're gonna have a outside of Medicine Hat marketing logo. So I hope you like it. At first you might be going, oh, that's not what I would have chosen, but it'll grow on you if it doesn't take you right away. I hope it grows on you. But we'll play this video, and for those of you that filmed this video, you're going to be surprised. In a word, Medicine Hat is sunshine. We are a warm, vibrant, feel-good city with the attitude and natural backdrop to match. We honor our city's heritage while fostering progress, innovation, and entrepreneurship. We are a dynamic bright spot with an emerging and growing creative culture, and our quality of life truly does shine.
Medicine Hat residents are friendly, welcoming, and kind. Many Hatters have come from across the country and around the world to make this city their home, and we embrace others who wish to do the same.
We welcome visitors, host events, and showcase our city with pride. We open our wallets and our hearts to those in need. We are resilient in our neighborhoods and across our community.
Our scenic landscape is anchored by the broad and mighty South Saskatchewan River, carved coulees and rolling prairies. Wildlife thrives along the river's edge and in park spaces, as well as backyards and schoolyards.
The sun rises and sets in glorious displays of color, and the stars light up the night sky. The city is a beautiful, natural sight to see.
Our community is safe, comfortable, and affordable, where family and friends gather to celebrate their lives. Opportunities abound in business and in pleasure, without the commutes, the crowds, and the big city hassles.
We experience life up close and personal. Medicine Hat is a soft landing and a springboard, a retreat and a hive of activity, and always a place to savor life.
And of course, Medicine Hat boasts more days of sunshine per year than any other city in Canada. We have hot summer nights and Chinook-cheered winter days. Our city is warm at heart and in life. Medicine Hat has a sunshine state of mind. Good, no booze, okay. That is our new logo. I hope you like it. Sunshine State of Mind we're going to try to promote that outside of our borders. So here goes. People talk about the Medicine Hat Advantage being gone. It's not gone. There's a utility. This is just gas and electric. I'm sorry we put this insert into your utility bill, but for some reason I keep reading that the Medicine Hat Advantage is gone. Gas and electric, you save about $49 a month just on your gas and electric, and those are 2014 numbers for the rest of the province versus 2015 numbers for the city. We're almost half. And wait till you've all seen the new power lines that are being built across this province. Every other municipality is going to see their power bills go through the roof, except for one, and that's us. Then your water, sewer, and solid waste is another $22. You save $70 a month on your utilities on an average family in an average home, and $70. Maybe that doesn't sound like a lot, but $700, $800 a year that is in your pocket that isn't in the citizen of Red Deer's pocket or the citizen of Edmonton or Calgary's. Plus the lowest residential property tax. I know we raise, when your property taxes are only $1,000, sorry, maybe that's only is a wrong word, it's $1,000 on average, and you raise them 4.8%, that's $48 a year. That's what we raised them. When your property taxes are in Grand Prairie are $2,000 or $3,000 on average, and they raised them 3%, it's way more. But they can sound, don't get confused by the percentages. It's actually the dollar amount. If they raise them 3%, that's 60, 70, 80 more dollars a year. It's double ours. So because our taxes are so low, even a small dollar value, it turns out to a sizable percentage increase. We're going to start showcasing our community, TV boards, place to live, image and profile. We've got 1.3 million in the budget for that. Fiscal management, I'm going to go quickly through these ones because they're boring. We got a balanced budget. The city of Medicine Hat does not run a deficit. We have some debt because of our utilities, that we have self-supporting utilities that has debt, but we don't run a deficit. And we're not even allowed to run a deficit, but I'm amazed at how many people think that we're bleeding red ink. We're not. And we have the highest levels of service. We have more pools per capita. We have more ice per capita. We have more parks, playgrounds, paths per capita. So we could keep these lower, but then we have to start cutting back services. And I think the people value the services of Medicine Hat. Energy division, make no mistake, this could be a tough year. As I mentioned before, we always had balance between low gas or high electricity, or high gas and low electricity or oil, but right now all three are somewhat depressed, and I'm concerned. But we're going to work forward, and we've got a huge amount of savings. The city has over $500 million in various savings accounts. We'll be able to hopefully weather this storm, but I don't take this. I do not take this lightly, and the council doesn't take this lightly, but we will be vigilant. And $1.7 million in the budget for that. City government, yeah, this one's. So we've had to focus on occupational health and safety. It's extremely important now, and frankly, we were falling behind as a city, but we've made great inroads, and we take it seriously, the safety of our employees and their training. We're doing an organizational structure review. I don't know if some of you remember when I was first on council in 2008, we broke the city up, we broke the energy division off, and we basically broke it up into municipal and energy. This council is asked to take a look at that and see if that's the right structure, whether we need to put it back together, maybe separate it further, something, but we're going to do a structural review. We're also doing a census this year. We wouldn't be doing a census if we didn't think we had population growth. Works out to $252 more per citizen, so if we have 500 more citizens, there's $100,000 a year more in grants. So we're going to be doing a census, and you can see the dates. It'll be, well, first time ever we're going to be doing it online and door-to-door. So be counted. And there's $2.6 million in the budget for that. So expect, hopefully in 2015, we'll continue on with this progress. We'll hopefully have more activity and more growth and more energy. We're going to kind of try to keep going with this momentum, even with the low price of oil. And some other thoughts. Oh, development permits. There's a thing, we did about $176 million this year in new development, compared to about 110 last year, and it was private sector, not public money. So that to me is a real testament. Public money doesn't count as far as I'm concerned, but private sector investment is almost at the pre-recession levels. Talking about the police had a hard year. They were the other number one story. You know, I believe most of the citizens in this room value our police. They do a great job. We're safe. Everybody knows that a woman can walk downtown and feel safe. And we have one of the highest crime solve rates. So yeah, I get every day complaints about the police, complaints about photo radar. Nobody hates, you know who hates photo radar the most in this city? The two people that hate it the most? Me and the chief of police. We hate it the most. But it causes some discontent, and I wasn't even going to put this slide in, but I just feel that the police they took a tough year this year. So I had to do ticked off tickle pinks. Unfortunately, I can't read them. One of them is about that businesses would have gone to Box Springs whether we built the event center there or not. Well, I know John Hashem is here, but let's be frank, he wouldn't have donated the land. Well, out of the goodness of his heart, they did it because they hope to attract more business. And it's happening. Yes, business would have gone there, but this ticked off tickle pink says that I'm totally out to lunch on that. Another one, I can't remember what these say now. Something about, oh yeah, the reason why everybody's moving to Box Springs is because there's no commercial land available for sale in the city of Medicine. Absolutely false. There's commercial land. There's a new development going up by the North Co-op. There's land for sale by Home Depot. There's land in Southlands. There's land in Ranchlands for commercial. But so I'm sorry you can't read these, but I always like to, oh, and by the way, I just took the snapshot. This was the most, not today's TikTok, I just took the last TikTok tickle pink, and there was 1, 2, 3, 4 slamming me and directed at me, and it's infuriating. I'm sorry I talk about this, but it's infuriating to me because they're anonymous. And then people say, oh, well, don't read it. It's hard not to read it. It's like driving by a car accident and not looking. And that's it. And but the unfortunate part of this is everybody in this room says they don't read it, but you do. And you may know something, but in your subconscious, you're going, oh yeah, there's no commercial land for sale in the city. Well, and so that those myths and those misinformation gets spread, and subconsciously perhaps. And there's no way for me to call this anonymite, this troll, and correct them. Because if they would just come and make a phone call, we could say, well, actually, no, you know what, you're wrong, or we do have land for sale, or no, these things did happen. But because they're anonymous, anyway. Random citizen meeting. I haven't talked about this before. So this is linked to the Tick Dot Tickle Pink. So every week, I randomly, my assistants, Shirley and Brianne, call someone out of the phone book, and they come in. And we've been doing this fairly faithfully. I think we only missed a couple weeks. So over the last year or so, we've, 50, 60 times I've done this. And everybody always brings a friend, because they always want to bring a friend. And every single one of these people have been positive. They tell me how much they love Medicine Hat. Not one was negative, except for photo radar complaints. Now a poem. Who's got the ballots?
Who's got the winner? Oh, Aaron. He's going to give the preliminary, yeah. Don't give it to the mayor before you give it to me because,
okay.
Oh my gosh, look at this. Here, just a minute, come up here, Aaron. Look at this, this is like the Oscars. When you open and the winner is?
The mayor was going to open that.
Oh, the mayor.
He needs to see it because he's got to remember it.
He's got some hands. I thought you had your hands full. Okay.
Look at that.
What is it? Okay, there you are. This is the closing feature of this.
I have some closing remarks, but this is my least favorite poem on the list. It's the one I wouldn't have done. But obviously, this is what the democracy spoke. So it's called The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. And I'm going to disappoint a lot of you, because this poem is the most misunderstood poem ever written. Hallmark has taken this poem, and people believe this is a Carpe Diem, seize the moment poem. And it is not. It is about the mundane choices you make in life. You choose one road or the other. You choose peanut butter on your toast or jam. It has nothing to do with leaving a trail where there is none. The first 3 verses talk about how mundane choices are and how you're basically you don't know which road. Even when you look at 2 roads, you decide which job to take. You get 2 job offers, and you really can't tell which job offer is going to be better. They're both kind of the same. So you basically flip a coin and you walk down one road, and that's it. So and Hallmark has got a whole industry on this poem that is false. But the 4th verse, the author recognizes how mundane life is and how mundane the choices are. So he tries to spice it up. He tries to say, and he says something, he says, I shall be telling this with a sigh, ages and ages hence. So what he does is he spices it up and makes it sound like he took the road not taken. But he's lying. He's faking it to make the story sound better than the actual poem. I hope. Now you guys go, oh, I wouldn't have chose that one now. The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry, I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then chose the other as just as fair, or having perhaps a better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had warned them really both about the same. 2 roads that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I saved the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever be back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I chose the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Thanks.
I'm sorry here, I went intervening. He's not finished yet. Okay, go ahead.
I debated whether to do this, but what the heck. I'd like to call all my council members up. They don't know this. I hope you're not mad. I'd like to come up on the stage. Yeah. Yeah, just line up. Yeah. I don't know if you heard that. They asked if they're getting fired. I can't fire them. Who do we got here? So I just want to say that these things that I just showed here, we accomplished. Obviously, I didn't do this on my own. The citizens, you the citizens, chose wisely when you gave me these, well, 8, but there's 5 council members to help assist and guide me and guide the city. And sometimes, you know, I need a reality check, and frankly, every now and then I need someone to apply the brakes. Collectively, this group, us, we are way more creative, imaginative, and responsible than any one individual. These council members are not paid for their time, and I know that they are, but they aren't. This isn't provincial or federal politics. There is no pension. There is no pension. There is no support staff or driver or personal assistant. Their salary barely covers tickets to charity events, donations, gas, and some dress clothes. Municipal councillors are on the front line. We are not the generals. We get shot at and shot. We live amongst you, and not as aliens. We can't hide in Ottawa or Edmonton, sorry for the other levels of government. Our kids go to school with yours, and we buy our groceries at Safeway and Costco. We drive on your roads, and we play in your parks. Your municipality provides hundreds of services every day, from the snow clearing, the parks, the grass cutting, the water in your morning shower, to your police and firefighters. No level of government has more effect on your daily quality and daily life. There are thousands of municipal politicians across this country toiling away, but you only hear about the less than 1% that are corrupt, making poor choices. But the large majority work tirelessly to make your community better. These councillors don't like Medicine Hat. They love Medicine Hat. But it's getting harder. It's getting harder to be in politics. I think it is the hardest it's ever been. Social media is killing us. It's, the anonymity and the malicious hatred is unfair. And you know, Winston Churchill said, a lie can get halfway around the earth before the truth has a chance to get its pants on. So I ask you, if you know someone who's making malicious comments, to ask them to please reconsider, to pick up the phone and call any one of us. We will answer your call, to write a letter to the editor, to sign your letter, to protest if you feel like, peacefully, to assemble, start petitions. That's fine. But don't be an anonymous internet troll. We honestly, this council, when we sit in the room for hours and hours and hours, 6 hours on a council day, we get presented, we have very high-paid staff, I shouldn't say that, lawyers and MBAs and advisors, and they lay out choice A, choice B, choice C. And do you really think we go and say, well, what's the worst possible choice? Because that's the one we're going to pick. But you would think sometimes that people think we honestly try to pick the worst choice. So anyway, I just want to say about that social media that, you know, don't look at it, but we have to, we look. And it's also a way to gauge what the community is saying in some ways. And you say, well, it shouldn't hurt you, it shouldn't bother you. But you know, a rock, when water goes over a rock, you can't, you know, the rock seems fine. But over time, that constant water over that rock will wear it away, bit by bit. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Ted.
Well done.
Nice touch.